All right, expected. Everything starts.
All right, all right. What's up, everybody? This is your main man, Darius Nolan, a different echelon, back at it. We took a quick break for the summer, but very happy to be back in the saddle, in the seat. Just happy to be here, talking to my listeners and my viewers. Want to thank you guys in advance for being a part of this endeavor. Once again, I'm here. Today we're talking with a good friend of mine. Just very excited. I couldn't really control myself today. I was like, man, I'm gonna talk to my friend and talk to a guy I've come to admire. So we have my friend Keith Benjamin on of Uptown Social. Very excited to have him here today with us. But first of all, as you well know, we have a lot to catch up on. The summer has been crazy. We're trying to deal with this pandemic, trying to deal with getting life kind of like readjusted, but then the pandemic kind of sprung back up again with new variants and things of that nature. And I'm not going to get into the political aspect of it at all, but what I will say, just protect yourself. Please to continue to stay socially distanced. Continue to stay and just kind of like respect other people's space and other people's health and things of that nature. If you're a mask wearer, please wear your mask. I guess I should say everyone should at least wear the mask, whether you decide to get vaccinated or not. But just keep your distance and just be considerate of other people. But with that being said, I'm happy people are continue to thrive. I'm happy businesses are back up and running. Things are starting to begin like it's normal again. Today, of course, me being a sports fan, it's the first day of the football season. Of the regular season of 2021, kicking off tonight. Got a big game coming up, so I'll be watching that a little bit. But just happy that things are starting to look back the way they used to look back in 2019 and previous to that. And as you well know, today is September 9th, and in a couple of days we're going to be, and I can't believe it, I don't want to say celebrating, but we're going to be remembering one of the most incredible, from a negative aspect standpoint, incredible things that happened in U.S. history, which was the 9/11 attacks, September 11th, 2001. In a couple of days, today's the 9th. I guess that's going to be Saturday when we're going to be remembering the fallen victims and people of that nature. So, I want to keep those people in mind, keep their families in mind. I watched a great documentary and movie the other day about the dispensation of funds going to those people who lost lives. I guess the families of those who lost lives, whether it be a direct effect of the bombing or the airplane attacks, or people going in like emergency workers such as firemen and other medical personnel, police officers, and even people like on the street just trying to help out. So that just tells me that it doesn't matter how big and bold we think we are as a nation, as a country, as a world, we still have to be there for each other. And we still need to just continue to look out for each other and do what we can to uplift each other when we're down. So just a little tidbit, trying to catch up now, but we're going to get into this interview. I got my good friend here. I can see him. You guys can't. He's chomping at the bit. He's looking dapper as always. I'm going to bring in my good friend, Mr. Keith Benjamin of Uptown Social. Keith, are you there?
I sure am. What's going on, Darius?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, Keith?
I'm feeling good. It's you're one New Yorker to another, right? So
Right, of course.
You're talking about 9/11, and I was 18 years old when that happened, and my dad and my brother were in the city that day. I was my freshman year at Penn State, but I remember it like it was yesterday. You know, just you talking about it makes the hair on my neck stand up. So, big thoughts going out to everybody, in our hometown and far and wide, thinking about that day 20 years ago.
Yeah, most definitely. It was pretty serious. I watched a Netflix show that I was talking about earlier. You don't know all the things that go into it. I guess just thankfully we're not affected by it personally, but you don't know what goes into all the details and stuff like that, and how much. There was a movie called Worth on Netflix, and it talked about how much is a life worth. Should the CEO that was killed, should his family get a bigger settlement, so to speak, than the guy that was a janitor or the lady in the cafeteria making, grilled cheese sandwiches.
Right.
So it's just interesting because, personally, I don't think anybody's life is worth someone else's. But that being said, it's just a terrible thing to have to deal with. How do you decide, what a family gets over another family? It's just terrible. But with that being said, it's just important that we continue to be there for each other. We continue to support, like I said, support each other and just be there and love each other. So once again, I'll give you a formal introduction. This is Keith Benjamin of Uptown Social. He is the senior operating partner at Uptown Social here in Charleston, South Carolina. I believe it's 587 King. What's the address? Yeah, 587 King. Yeah, King Street. So just a little history on us before we get into what's going on with you and the great business you have there. I met Keith along the lines of music. My band Good Trouble, we're just forming, and I think you were just trying to get back in after the pandemic closures and whatnot.
Yeah.
And shout out to Paul Joliet, who was like the go-between between us, hooked us up. And it's just crazy how life happens, and you meet people, and you just hit it off. I mean, we hit it off right away. Like it was almost like brothers from different mothers. So that was great. But I want to ask you something, Keith. Like coming in, first of all, how long have you been here in Charleston? As far as Uptown, rather, how long has Uptown been here in Charleston?
Yeah, we opened in April of 2018. It feels like 15 years ago. Sometimes it also feels like 15 minutes ago. Just the way the last 4 years, better part of the last 4 years have been for all of us. But yeah, it was April 6th of 2018, about 2 days before Bridge Run.
Right.
And everybody that knows Charleston knows that's the biggest day of the year. And sure enough, we're right around the corner from Bridge Run 2021, which was rescheduled from last spring. And so we're gearing up for a pretty big day, which we're looking forward to.
Yeah. Now, just a little Charleston history. That where you are now was a very popular club establishment before you guys came. I think it was called what was it, LJ's?
It was called Hughie's.
Right.
Yeah, LJ Hughie was the owner.
Right, exactly. There you go. Yeah, he was a big dog, and that was a spot.
He's a legend.
Yeah, right, no doubt. He is a legend, and that's the spot. But you guys have done a great job of coming in and kind of continuing that success as far as clubs go in that area. I mean, just kind of tell me, like, honestly, and this is not me saying this because we're friends or whatever it may be, but you guys seem to have a well-oiled machine there. Number one, hospitality is great. You seem to be very organized. You guys seem to definitely look out for the customer and look out for even just try to get more customers. I think one of the craziest things I saw, and I don't know how crazy it is, but I was like, man, you guys have people coming in from the airport and coming in from traveling. You guys actually have a spot that they can sit their luggage down and won't have to worry about it. Like what goes into it? Like, give me some insight. Like, what happened?
when we opened in 2018, we took our experience from what we used to do in New York, and we brought it down here. And there's a lot of lessons we learned up there from our experiences of doing this for the better part of the last 30 years. I obviously haven't been around the company that long, but we have 8 locations in New York, 4 in Chicago, and I became part of this group back in 2006 as a barback in New York City, and just kind of built my way up and bought in and became a partner in 2011. And I've just always been somebody to kind of soak it all in when something means a lot to me. When I played lacrosse at Penn State, I walked onto the team there, and it was just all about buying in and going all in and learning from the people that did it before me, learning from the people who are better athletes, better lacrosse players, and really just kind of watching them, learning from them, working as hard as they do. And I transitioned that into my real life as I went all in on the food and beverage business and hospitality sector. And when I finally realized that this is what I wanted to do with my life, it was just mastering the trade and looking around, whether that's going to different restaurants, going to different bars, going to different nightlife establishments. I mean, when I tell you I follow every single food and beverage account on social media that I can possibly follow, whether they're a pizza joint, a Chinese food restaurant, a corner store, or the biggest nightclub on earth, I am trying to pull little things from each one of those operators, from each one of those operations, to try to bring that into my business. And if it's just one little tiny thing that makes a difference, it goes a long way. And so that's really been what I've tried to do here, Darius. I mean, did I ever picture us being a place that would have a bag check? No. Did I ever picture us as a place that would be a full-fledged entertainment venue, from 11 o'clock on Saturday mornings to 2 o'clock, Saturday nights, 2 o'clock in the morning? No. Did I think we would be a pizza place, a sandwich shop, a spot where people can come and get a snack or just an order of French fries? No, but it's kind of like the market dictates what you need to bring to that market, but you also need to challenge the market to think about things a little bit differently. Certainly, when we came to Charleston, it was nightlife has been here for a long time. It's one of the number one. I mean, yesterday was just named the best destination in the world by Travel and Leisure for the 9th year in a row.
Yep.
Clearly, Charleston's been doing things the right way for a long time, and it was just bringing in that energy that we have from doing it for a long time in New York City, being passionate about what we do, and letting folks see kind of a different way of doing things.
Right, exactly. And I was actually going to mention that because I saw that today on social media, where once again, Charleston is the place that people want to be, where people want to be. And it's interesting because one thing I do like about you, and I'm not just saying it again because we're homies, so to speak, but I like the fact that you're fair, but you're honest and you're direct. That's the things you have to be when you're a business owner, whatever you may be. I mean, I have businesses myself, and sometimes it's a little difficult, being in the South because people don't really expect that. So when you're direct, it's almost taken as being disrespectful. But it's funny because when you ride down the highway, what you see is New Jersey plates, New York plates, Connecticut plates, Pennsylvania plates. Tell me about, first of all, when did you move to Charleston? In 2018?
I moved at the very end of 2017.
17, okay.
Yep,
So what was your transition like, just culturally and everything, coming from New York, hustling and bustling, to kind of like the beach life here? What was it like?
I wish I had time for the beach life here, Darius. I came down, to be fair, when I came down, I was just recently dating my now wife.
Right.
We were together for about 6 months when I moved down here. And, I had to, I really, because my wife was still in New York City, we had no kids at the time, no dogs, which we have a kid and a dog now.
Right.
I was really able to focus on the business, get things up and running at Uptown Social and getting to know the town. And what we did, what was really important to me was, not coming in here hot, meaning
Right.
really having the patience and the wherewithal to learn about the people in Charleston, learn about what they were looking for, learn about what they were expecting of us, and just kind of ingratiating myself in the community, my team in the community, and respecting what this town has been about for not just the last several years, but the last several hundred years. I mean, Charleston
Right.
is one of the most historic places in the United States of America, and
Right.
The history, both good and bad, dates far before you and I were here.
Right.
And so it's understanding what that history looks like, understanding where we are today, and all that time in between, and really respecting it. In terms of being direct, my dad taught me a long time ago. There's really no reason to beat around the bush.
Right.
You really want to address people with respect. Let them know what your expectations are, and if they fail to meet those expectations, well, then you're able to have a productive conversation with them, and a very real conversation with them as to why they are not meeting those expectations.
Right.
It's about being honest and direct from the outset, so that if something doesn't go the right way, you can let that person know, and if it's going the right way, you reward them for that.
Right. And that's very, very good, man, because I think that a lot of times, people try to be friends with their subordinates, for lack of a better word, but that's what they are. So, if you're running something and you feel like they're not meeting it, you have to have that honest conversation with them. And it's all business. As long as you don't make it emotional and make it about the business, they'll be okay. So tell me this, speaking of business, tell me how was it working through the pandemic? Like, tell me what that was like. So, you're here in 18 and you're really kicking it, and then COVID kind of shut stuff down. Tell me what that transition period was like from when you were here, so to speak, and then you're like, oh my God, what's going on? Because places were closing down left and right around you. I've driven down King Street several times, and I'm like, oh my God, that place closed, that place was closed, that place, like, oh my God. So it's like your business is one of the ones, I guess, that was still kind of flowing. So tell me how that worked out for you.
Yeah, Darius. To say it was the trickiest, the choppiest waters to navigate would be an understatement. We were all just smashed in the face with it. There was no seeing it coming. There's no playbook for fighting your way through a worldwide pandemic. There's no playbook for safely serving people during a pandemic. Without getting into the politics of it all, with the masks and the vaccines,
right,
social distancing. We are who we are. We're a nightlife establishment. We have a very large occupancy, north of 500 people. This place was built to bring in large amounts of people every single weekend.
Right.
We certainly pride ourselves on our food, our pizza, our cheeseburgers, our chicken wings. But really, the bread and butter when you sign a lease on Upper King Street for 10,000 square feet is volume. And, to see that volume drop off in the blink of an eye was terrifying. And this is all at a time where, I got married on March 14th. The pandemic, for lack of a better term, shut everything down on March 17th. So, 3 days after I got married, starting a life with my wife and thinking about, a dog and starting a family. It's like, where's the next paycheck going to come from? And figuring that out. And, I still think to where we are today, there's no arguing that the pandemic's not over. It's learning from it. It's respecting the pandemic, right, for what it is, and the fact that people are still getting sick, and giving people the choice to make as to whether they are going to keep themselves safe and to whether they are going to expose themselves and their families to the dangers of this pandemic, right? And I'd like to sit here and say, that I truly believe in something, and I do. And I think there's ways to keep yourself safe and still be able to go on with the life as we knew it pre-pandemic, while taking the necessary precautions to keep yourself and your loved ones safe.
Right, exactly, and that's good to know, man, because again, you have to grab the bull by the horns. And, the scary thing about it, you spoke about it being scary. Like, no one knew what to expect. My day job, we would have meetings weekly because there are different regulations going on. I think the world was kind of like, what in the world is going on? Like, no, I don't think anybody had the playbook. No one had the answers. No one had the antidote, for lack of, just no pun intended, but no one had the antidote. So with that being said, so you came in, and once you guys were able to open, so when did you guys open after the pandemic? Let's go with that.
So we started for some outdoor dining in May. So it was about a month and a half.
Yeah.
The governor opened it back up, I think, to indoor dining maybe 2 weeks after that.
Mm-hmm.
And and by early June we were at I can't remember exactly what it was, but certainly increased occupancy. And at that point we were just trying to figure out what to do with music, and entertainment, which is really kind of our lifeblood.
Yeah.
Because, when you think about it, everybody was like, we got to get those bartenders back to work. We got to get the kitchen guys back to work. We got to get the bar backs back to work.
Right.
And here I am sitting, knowing that I spend thousands of dollars a month on entertainment. And if I can't hire those guys back, well, then they're not getting paid. And and a big part of kind of what keeps me going is being able to put to work the people that have helped me earn a living, right? And the bar backs and the bartenders and all those guys, they're super important, but so are the entertainers like yourself. And it was really helping us kind of think outside the box as to, all right, well, this was what our entertainment lineup looked like kind of pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. And here are our musicians out there that are, for a lack of a better term, starving and looking to earn a living. How can we work those guys back in? And we started doing things like dinner and a show. We started, we were able to build out the lot outside, which you played in a few times, which was some really cool outdoor dining. We were able to use our rooftop and focus on some more outdoor stuff. We brought in some comedians, and it was just trying to get butts in seats. Obviously it was a different setup than we were used to, which was dancing all the time and having people kind of shoulder to shoulder, really experiencing, nightlife as we knew it. But it was kind of slowly and gradually getting back into that life before the pandemic that we knew.
Right. And that's a good segue, because I do want to talk about the fact that you guys seem to have entertainment. I didn't know you guys had comedy. I didn't know you guys had comedians. But, while we're playing there, we would go on at say 12 o'clock on Saturday, and you would have back to back acts. And then I was able to kind of look at the calendar one day, you and I were talking, and I kind of snuck a peek, and I looked at your calendar, it's full of how many acts do you have going on a Saturday? Just take me there.
On a busy Saturday, we're at about seven different bands and DJs throughout the course of the day.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't like to have any gaps in the entertainment. Right. So you go 12 to 3, we have someone coming on at 3, and then someone coming on at 6, and sometimes we have downstairs going the same time as the rooftop and same time as the lot outside, and it's just giving people, the cool thing that we have with our space at Uptown Social is giving folks a different experience throughout the course of the day, and whether that's a big rooftop party with a DJ or some cool soul and funk from Good Trouble downstairs. It's letting people experience that different vibe, and as more and more tourists come through Charleston, they're looking for live music, and there's some tremendous talent here, and we're excited to have a budget that can bring the right music into our establishment and make sure that we're giving the clients and the customers what they're looking for.
Yeah, and that's very important. I mean, you hit it right on the head. As tourists come and people move in and people visit and stuff like that, it's something about live music that has a different feel from an iPod, or whatever the case may be. Even your DJs are really, really good. I don't want to name names because I don't want to miss anyone's name, but they keep it pumping. And I remember, we were doing Friday nights, and right behind us at like, I guess that'd be 11 o'clock, you had a DJ and it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like, wow, like this place is almost like New York in the sense that it never sleeps. Like it never goes. We know, there is a cap at some point, a night cap, but it's so very good. So, what I noticed though is that, you guys treat everyone really, really well. Us as band performers and performers or whatever the case may be. I know we had the Mardi Gras show with you guys earlier this year. It was excellent. And you guys were doing a bodega. And just kind of talk about that, because I know there was some kind of transition as far as, and I don't want to speak for you, but I see you have on the bodega shirt, which is very nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, move the other way. There you go.
Just came in today.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So the bodega, it was at the location here. Now has it moved? Or what's going on with that?
Yeah, so bodega is inspired from kind of how I grew up and how many of my business partners grew up in New York City,
right.
The New Jersey, New York City area, where you go to any corner, as you grew up in Queens, I think, right? Or Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You go to any corner in the city and you can find a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, or a roll of toilet paper, a jar of salsa,
right.
or pregnancy tests. It's
right.
It runs the gamut.
Right.
When we came down to Charleston, one thing that we missed really was just that quick and easy sandwich, and that ability to kind of run to that corner store, which we know as bodegas,
right?
And grab a bacon, egg, and cheese, or an Italian sandwich,
right?
So during the pandemic, we really kind of had dreamt up this concept, and said, I guess it was actually pre-pandemic. And we dreamt up this concept, and what we decided was, let's roll this out of our kitchen at Uptown Social,
right?
And serve breakfast and lunch sandwiches, and give people an opportunity to grab a breakfast. We wanted it to be a quick breakfast like it is in New York City,
right?
But those New York City bodegas, as you know, they're probably 500 square feet,
no doubt,
have enough room for five people at a time. So those guys that are lightning quick behind the counter, they're able to get your sandwich in 3 minutes flat. Here at Uptown Social, we have 10,000 square feet and 300 seats. And when you got good trouble, crushing the music and those sandwiches coming, there were times that we had our kitchen running at an hour wait because there was 100 to 120 sandwiches coming through in the span of an hour. And we really were so fortunate to have the quick following that we had, but it was really making sure that people understood that while we were hoping to get sandwiches out in New York Minute, it wasn't realistic. It wasn't realistic because the demand was just far more than we could have expected, and it really kind of invigorated us and had us focus on bringing bodega to its own home, which, knock on wood, we'll have in its own home at 23 Ann Street probably in about 60 days or so. And
that's good. That's good, man.
Yeah, we'll open at 7 a.m. every day for breakfast sandwiches and beautiful coffee service, lunch sandwiches as the day goes on. And then at 3 o'clock, we'll shut down the sandwich part of the menu and transition into really nice kind of cheese and meat boards, and paired up with some wines. And it'll go into a craft cocktail and beer bar straight till 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll put some music like Good Trouble and some fun DJs playing in there, and we'll get it going.
Right, that sounds good, man. And I've been waiting on that because I like that vibe. That's a good chill vibe for me personally, and for what we do. And that's what I was going to ask you too. Like, you guys have a great concept, and I always talk about you, speak about you guys so well, and that it just seems like you guys just do a flow. So with that being said, like, what actually, in your opinion, not to toot your own horn, but I mean, that's why we're here, to toot your own horn. Like, what separates you from other establishments that are like yours?
We get that asked a lot, Darius. It's a great question. I've always said that my number one competition is myself. It's focusing on what you can do right and how you can correct the wrong, how you can always make yourself better. Complacency. I feel like everything I'm saying right now is just kind of like just a saying, but at the end of the day, it's really what I live by. I feel like complacency is your biggest enemy, And so when I wake up in the morning, I really just think about what I can do to make my business better. I try, like I said, to always look around and to emulate certain operators. I think the Tao Group does it really well out of New York City and Vegas. They have some tremendous nightlife venues all around the world. I think that some restaurant operators like Danny Meyer is someone to look up to in the way that he does things. I think that Anthony Falco and his drive and the way that he makes pizzas and continues to travel the world to master his trade is someone to really follow and emulate. But at the end of the day, it's just making sure that you hold yourself accountable, that you hold the people that work with you accountable, that you hold the people that work for you accountable, and that nothing falls through the cracks.
Right.
And it's holding that high level of expectation, not only to yourself but to the people that you work with, day in and day out, to ensure that you will continue to be the very best. Because the minute you start to kind of say, you know what, I'm at the top of the mountain, things are going really well, that's when you just fall right off that cliff real fast. I've seen it in all walks of life. And the minute you give an inch, there's other people out there waiting to eat your lunch. So
no doubt.
We just try to continue to push that envelope and make sure that we're not sleeping on success.
Yeah, and that's great, man, because I have I don't know if it's a saying I came up with, but it's been in my mind that complacency is the enemy of success.
Yeah.
Whenever you feel like you've arrived, there's somebody there that's waiting, like you said, to take your lunch, to take your spot, and to get in right there where you are and just continue to. And it's hard to catch up once you've lost momentum.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I kind of Kobe. Nike came out with a commercial which you probably saw, and I'll send it your way after our time today. But
yeah,
it was I think a 90-second spot that really highlighted Kobe and his career from his days at Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
All the way through the success he had with the Lakers, and the moniker that he lived by was just be better, be better, just be better. And I showed that to my team, and anybody that knows Kobe, anybody that watched Kobe, knows that he had a fire in his belly that woke him up. I would say woke him up before his alarm every day.
Right.
And that was to live by that moniker, just be better. And I live by that every day, because if I wake up and I say, we're the best, or this is the best sandwich, or the best slice of pizza, or the best DJ, or the best band, we've got it all figured out. Well, then, I know it's not figured out.
Right. Exactly. And you speak about your team. I just want to shout out, Brian, Kara, can't think of anybody else right now, but
Brian, Kara,
Brian,
Mackenzie,
Kat, they're all awesome. And I know that you're a great leader, because we hung out a little bit. I think it was in May, maybe something like that. You did like an appreciation up at the Windjammer.
Yeah.
And that was more than just like hanging out and having fun and partying, but it was like, the family atmosphere was there. And I was like, man, this guy Keith, man, he's all right, And we talked, and I got hooked up with Connor, Beat Gig, and all that out of that, conversation.
Yep.
Like every round goes higher and higher. And I just wanted to just celebrate those guys, because those guys are awesome. They really, I can tell that you're a great leader, because they kind of sound like you. When you're not there, I can tell that you've infused them, with like confidence and know-how and direction and stuff like that. And you're a humble guy. I know you're not going to take all the credit for yourself, but listen, man, you're doing a great job. And just as we, I'm not going to take too much more of your time, but any special events, I know we got the Bridge Run coming up. That's in a couple of weeks, actually. I know you guys are going to have something post-Bridge Run. Any other special events that you have guys got going on that you want to speak about?
Yeah, we're pretty excited. I mean, we we're just starting an out of town DJ series, which will through Connor at Beat Gig once again. Yeah. He'll be bringing in an act to perform every Saturday night after the David Higgins band, which is one of our favorite local bands.
Love David Higgins. Yep.
Yep, and they'll play at 11 p.m. on Saturday nights, and then they'll come on Sunday nights for our rooftop party at 7 o'clock. So that kicks off this Saturday with two guys from LA, actually, a guy by the name of Cade and Danny Quest. So that kicks off this Saturday, Sunday, which we're really excited for. Certainly NFL football Sundays, college football's back, Penn State fan. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm fired up about that.
Yeah.
But just having football back and getting butts in seats and watching our TVs and, music all day, every day, as you know. It's just, Darius, I love what I do. Going back to my team, you're only as strong as your team. I know, once again, each and every day that what I do is only possible because I have the greatest people that I work with. And our expansion hinges upon the depth that we create on the bench, right? And to use a sports analogy, if you don't have a deep bench, you can't play ball. So, each day we're looking at that team and we're looking at who we can continue to train and get better. And, because, when I started, I was a bar back and, everybody starts somewhere. And so it's looking for that next bar back, that next server, that next guy in the kitchen that might just be flipping cheeseburgers right now. But in a year from now, he or she might be, working the door on Friday, Saturday nights. And then a year later might be managing. And a year after that, who knows? So it's really just kind of giving everybody the chance to grow. And if we want to expand in this market past Bodega and this new Coastal Cantina concept share house that we're working on, it's all about getting that bench, deeper and deeper.
Yeah, that's interesting, man, because one of my favorite shows to watch is $1 Million Listing, New York. I like LA as well, but New York. And one of my favorite people, I actually follow him on social media and everything. I'm kind of like a stalker, but his name is Ryan Serhant. And whenever the show comes on, his little piece, he always talks about expansion.
Sure.
Expansion, always and always. And I like that. I kind of use that even like in my music and the things that I'm working on. With that being said, what's the next step with Uptown Social? Like, you talked about Share House and all that. You guys going to continue to grow, I take it, huh?
Yeah, for us, it's about creating brands that people love, right? So obviously I feel like I'm flexing right now a little bit, but yeah, exactly. You got it. My Good Trouble shirt a little bit.
There you go.
But yeah, it's building these brands, right? Creating a following like Uptown Social, Bodega, hopefully soon to be Share House. And then moving that brand, right, and being able to find that kind of cookie cutter formula where you can take an Uptown Social and you can put it in any city, right? And obviously we want to be strategic in how we grow and look at towns that have great energy like Nashville, Tampa, Austin, New Orleans, South Florida, and just building that brand recognition and then strategically placing these brands all over the place. But, I love New York. I heard something a long time ago, actually right around when I was planning my move, which was be done with New York before New York is done with you.
Right.
And I felt like I really kind of followed that. And, now when I go back to New York City, I love it, Darius. I absolutely love it. It's home to us.
Yep.
My dad worked on Wall Street for 30 years. My brother was there. My great grandmother grew up on Ludlow Street on the Lower East Side. And, 100 years later, I opened a bar called Hair of the Dog on the corner of Orchard and Stanton. So it's really just paying homage to my roots and thinking about, where we came from, respecting where we came from, and the old, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, right?
Right, that's true.
In New York, and when I left from New York, and we were kind of embarking on this journey here in Charleston and Uptown Social, people used to say to me, I remember my dad walked in and he saw this building, 10,000 square feet, and he looked at me and he said, "Holy SHIT,
right?
You are out of your mind. This place is 4 times the size of any place you have in New York. What are you thinking?" And I said, "Dad, I truly believe that if we could do it in New York, we could do it here." And we challenged ourselves, and we were up till 4 o'clock in the morning, running that business in New York, and would get in bed at 6 and 7 o'clock, and wake up the next day and do it all over again. And I feel like that grind really prepared me for what we're doing right now. And it just, it excites me for the future, and expansion is truly what fuels me. I'm 38 years old. I have a 4.5-month-old son. My wife is around the same age, and we're excited. We're fueled by that kind of wanting to grow and wanting to expand.
Right. Well, listen, Keith, I've got to be honest with you, man. This conversation is turned out to be better than I thought it would. This is awesome. I thank you for your time. Thank you for Uptown, even infusing me, and even like the tidbits we passed back and forth just a few minutes ago. It's actually inspired me to even take my businesses to a higher height, man. And I'm gonna give you the last word. Like, if you can tell anybody anything about Uptown Social, what would be that thing you would leave people with?
Darius, I appreciate the ability to talk about Uptown Social. I think it's really just providing everybody, and I mean everybody from all walks of life, chance to have fun, because I think we're all confronted with the harsh reality of what this world is right now, right? And people fighting, and people getting sick, and people dying, and life's pretty darn serious, right?
I agree.
Each day we wake up and we're confronted with a lot of choices, and sometimes we don't have a choice. Sometimes we have to just roll with the punches and deal with the cards that we're dealt. But I want people to know that every time they walk through our door, they're gonna have fun, and they can leave the nonsense and the stress and the fear at the door, and know that when they come here, whether it's having a nice cold cocktail or a big hot pizza and a sandwich, whatever it might be, it's just an opportunity to let loose. And I guess that last word is be kind to people and treat people the right way, because I know that you've said a lot about what we do, but you've treated us the right way, and I know it goes both ways, Darius. And my mom and dad taught me that at a very early age, that if you treat people the right way and you treat people with kindness, you will receive that back. And that's kind of what I live by each and every day. And I hope that when people walk through my door here at Uptown Social, or my home, whatever business I may own or operate, that they know that they're going to be treated the right way.
That's excellent. Listen, and thanks again for your time. This has been Keith Benjamin, the senior operating partner at Uptown Social. The address 587, right? 587 King Street, Charleston, South Carolina. And what's the address of the other of your share house? What's that going to be?
Yep, we'll be sharing an address. Both restaurants are split up by the kitchen, but it'll be 23 Ann Street. All right, 23 Ann Street. You guys look out for that. In about 60 days, give or take, you guys will be opening over there at the Bodega. Is that right? Bodega, sure. Yep.
Bodega. Listen, once again, love you, man. I'll be talking to you soon. We got to get that good trouble shirt on you.
Yes,
I'm going to wear this Uptown shirt all day, and I'll be taking pictures for the gram and the book. So, but once again, I'll be seeing you soon. We'll be talking some more about this or that. So, God bless, man. Keep it up. Keep what you're doing. Keep encouraging us, man. Keep being a great leader, for your business there. Okay.
Thanks, Darren.
God bless. Don't hang up. I'm just going to end the broadcast, and we're going to keep going. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Take care, guys. This has been a Different Echelon podcast. We're back at it, where we're here to educate and empower and to enrich. You guys have a blessed day. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Always here on Facebook and always here on YouTube. Again, a Different Echelon. Thanks again, Keith Benjamin. Have a good night.
Thank you all.